Hi guys, how it's going? It's Julian and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will continue reading this book called Polyglot Notes. And well, recently I didn't have electricity, so it's been a problem to make this kind of videos and to be consistent in my reading. But now I have electricity again, so let's go ahead with this. And well, in the last video we were talking about different techniques which we can apply to improve our speaking skills. And the last one that we mentioned, uh, between others, it's speak tone twisters, tone speak tone twisters. Sorry, because it's pretty useful to remember words and get new vocabulary when the things that we read and which we speak uh, have that kind of intonation. It's easier to remember new vocabulary. So, okay, let's go ahead with this and let's talk about other techniques which we can apply to improve our speaking. Well, the next the next technique that the book mentioned, it is read more. In order to learn to articulate your thoughts clearly, you must first read a lot. Reading is an important source of literate speech. When a person reads, he/she learns to build phrases correctly, replenishes replenishes the vocabulary, improves spelling. At the same time, it is very important that reading is not a burden, but a pleasure. Mm. Learn ready-made phrases. Learn ready-made phrases. Ready-made phrases will enrich you with vocabulary and grammatical constructions. Use them in your speech. Language tutorials often offer phrases and word combinations that can be used in a given situation. If a person urgently needs to learn to speak on a given topic, they can do so quickly and on their own with a couple of textbooks and self-teaching tools. Phrase books are very useful and sorry. Phrase books are very useful and inexpensive thing. Phrases in them are given, indeed, templates and verified by native speakers. But all these textbooks and phrase books will help you only if you already have basic knowledge of a foreign language, understand how words grammatical constructions are connected, how it is all read. Knowing the principles of grammar makes it much easier to learn many phrases and lines. Learn grammar. Learn grammar from language, not from grammar. Okay, learn grammar. Learn grammar from language, not from grammar. Okay, yeah, that's pretty important. Wrote the. Okay, this is a quote basically. I need to express this because you cannot see this. So the next topic is learn grammar, and the next phrase is a quote. Learn grammar from language, not from grammar. Wrote the Hungarian polyglot Katolomb. She advised not to bother your head with grammatical rules. As soon as you understand the grammatical construction, immediately begin to apply it in practice in conversation. Yeah, basically you need to learn the basic stuff about grammar, and once you get it you need to start to apply it in a real conversation. And this is pretty important because in a point of my learning process I spent too much time and effort trying to learn a lot of grammar stuff. And yeah, it's important to know how it is the structure of those grammar rules, but it is more important to apply it. And even if you don't have a pretty good knowledge about that grammar, when you talk with a person in a real conversation, it's easier to get new vocabulary and new constructions about those grammar rules because you are applying them in a real context, and then it's easier to remember them. So yeah, that's pretty useful. Talk as much as you can. Yeah, of course. Communicate in a foreign language with yourself, with friends and acquaintances who are also learning the language. With foreign friends on Skype, with residents of other countries. Create clubs where you like-minded people and create clubs where your like-minded people can communicate with each other in the language you're learning. Hold debates, make presentations of topics, watch and discuss films, organize literary evenings, prepare festive events, stage theatre performance and concerts to. This is so hard, dude. Eh, I lost kinda level of my reading skills during this period, I guess. Create clubs where your like-minded people can communicate with each other in the language you're learning. Hold debates, make presentations of topics, watch and discuss films, organize literary evenings, prepare festive events, stage theater performance and concerts to which you can invite guests. It is also possible to organize volunteer activities and perform cultural programs in kindergartens, orphanages, nursing homes, military units, etc. Organize a tour of the city, historical and cultural attractions, museums, etc. Language learning can be organized in any form of fascinating, informative, useful communication in a foreign language. Okay, this was kind of tricky for me to understand it. Of course, I get the idea, but I would like to read it again. But basically, you need to stay active in those in many activities, which can provide you uh, with context about the language. For example, if you can create an event where foreign people want to to know many stuff about your country or important places like historical places, and you can go there and prepare a speech about those beautiful places that you which are like touristic places for other people. Well, bro, my English right now is awful. I don't know why. What it is, what it is. Organize a tour of the city, historical and cultural attractions, museums, etc. Language learning can be organized in any form of fascinating, informative, useful communication in a foreign language. Think in a foreign language. Think in a foreign language. Learn to think in a foreign language. Formulate your thoughts in the language you're learning. Talk to your reflection in the mirror. That's weird, but yeah, I need to try it. Talk with talk to your reflection in the mirror. Talk to your reflection in the mirror. Talk to yourself. I will highlight this because I find it interesting. Mm, I got it. Talk to yourself. Talk to your reflection in the mirror. Talk to yourself or to your reflection in the mirror. A mirror can be better than a person for several reasons. You can tell your reflection whatever you want and think it is. You're not afraid to say something wrong. Very often, those who learn the language are haunted by the fear of making a mistake. It leads, it leads like me, like very often, those who learn the language are haunted by the fear of making a mistake. It leads to a person not speaking at all. When you talk to your reflection in the mirror, that that fis, uh, okay, it leads to a person not speaking at all. When you talk to your reflection in the mirror, that psychological barrier goes away. describe the pictures. Take any picture. Try to describe what is depicted in it. Say whatever you can think of. Who is depicted? What he she does? What items you see? Whether there are secondary details, whether you like the picture or not, whether whether if your level of knowledge is high and your speaking skills are well developed, analyze the artwork. Do not, oh, that's pretty interesting. Do not go into detail. A few sentences will suffice. Okay, that's pretty cool. Actually, I watched a video on YouTube about a person who usually wanted to learn Arabic in a couple of months, and usually he had the technique to use a magazine and then describe with other person what was the picture about and try to provide details about that picture, and it's pretty useful. I need to try it actually, yeah, but always I forget to make that. But yeah, guess the mystery. A pupil or teacher puzzles out a country. A pupil or teacher puzzles out a country. A book, a plant, an animal. A pupil or teacher puzzles out a country. A book, a plant, an animal. The name of an outstanding person, actor, etc. Comrades ask him her questions, trying to guess the plan. Oh, bro, that's so hard. A pupil or teacher puzzles out a country. A book, a plant, an animal. The name of an outstanding person, actor, etc. Comrades ask him her questions, trying to guess the plan. The conditions may also regulate the possible concise answer, yes or no, as well as detailed hint answer. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, this is pretty useful, and the video that they watch make this technique as well. So I will highlight them. Hmm. Bro, give me a second. I will put a couple of words here to remember this. Hmm. Describe pictures and guess game. Find common and different. Yeah, well, basically that game is like that game in Inglorious Bastards, I guess, that movie of Tarantino, in which the people is in a table and they put a card in the head, and they try to, like, the person with the card in the head try to guess what is that thing which the card make reference. Find common and different. Pupils pupils work in pairs. Find common and different. Pupils work in pairs. Each of them has their own picture, which they do not show to the neighbor. The task is to find common and different in these pictures, not seeing, no singing them. Dude, the task is to find common and different in these pictures, not seeing them. Okay, I need to improve my intonation right now because I didn't read for a while and it's kind of difficult to practice this today because I lost my ability to make it. Pupils work in pairs. Each of them has their own picture, which they do not show to the neighbor. The task is to find common and different in these pictures, not seeing not seeing them, only with the help of questions. For example, they may be pictures of a dog and a cat, a banana and a cucumber, a bicycle and a motorcycle. Yeah, it's the same than the last one. Imitate native speakers. To speak as a native speaker, you need to feel psycho-emotional with this native speaker. Enter the role, copy their facial expressions, intonation, gestures. Imitate their manner of speaking, sounds, breathing rhythm, articulation. Retell the text. Once you have read the text, retell it in your own words. That's pretty important. Role-playing games. One effective means of motivating role-playing games. One effective means of motivating students to communicate in a foreign language is role-playing games. A game is a special type of activity in which the motive lies in the process. A game is a special type of activity in which the motive lies in the process. A game is a special type of activity in which the motive lies in the process, in the content of the action itself. Role-playing games are exercises based on the development of skills to form dialogue, speech in interpersonal communication. A game helps to unite the team. Unite. A game helps to unite the team, involving even shy and timid representatives in the process, which helps to raise the self-esteem of everyone in the team. Role-playing game simulates interpersonal group communication, so it finds a lively response from high school students. Yeah, basically to play this kind of games is useful to get more motivation to get used to the language. According to most methodologists, in the role-playing game there are three stages: the preparatory, the actual game, and the final. According to most methodologists, in the role-playing game there are three stages: the preparatory, the actual game, and the final. The preparatory stage in the class provides introductory conversation with the teacher, instruction on a role-playing situation, questions for discussion or a problem, introduction to the content of the game, introduction to the linguist, introduction to the content of the game, preliminary training of lexical units and grammatical structures. After conducting conducting after conducting a role-playing game at the final stage. Bro, is this so stressful because I know that I'm awful today. After conducting a role-playing game at the final stage, a discussion of a role-playing game, teacher's evaluation of each participant's communication actively. Oh, dude. After conducting, oh, dude. After conducting a role-playing game at the final stage, a discussion of a role-playing game, teacher's evaluation of each participant's communication activity, and a discussion of a given problem or a problem close to it are held in class. According to many authors, for a successful role-playing game, it is desirable that each participant has a card on his or her chest indicating the name and, for example, the profession, position, etc. of the character. It is possible to use a certain props to create the atmosphere of the venue of the role-playing game. Depending on the purpose of the lesson, the level of readiness of the student role-playing. Dude, I cannot make this so hard today. I don't get used to it. Depending on the purpose of the lesson and the level of readiness of the student, role playing games can be conducted in pairs. Such games are mainly aimed at the training in the use of certain lexical units and grammatical structures in subgroups of 3-5 people and in the whole group. When playing games in subgroups and groups, access to speech is provided. Role playing games in pairs is the simplest form of this method. Many authors recommend using questionnaires in paired role playing games, which participants should fill in by asking each other a question. Typical social roles can be staged: librarian, salesperson, passenger in everyday life situations. Fictional characters with personal characteristics. Fictional characters. Fictional characters with personal characteristics can be staged with specification of gender, age, marital status, personal qualities. The given variety assumes presence of a certain quantity of characters and a problem situation in which decision participants are involved. Role playing in subgroups may be conducted in different ways. Most authors believe that everyone should play simultaneously in subgroups. Boost groups, whose working controlled by the teacher, passing from one to another. However, it is it is allowed when subgroups play in turn. One subgroup, I know that you don't understand anything about this because I cannot read it properly, and it's if a couple of videos uh, ago my reading was awful, today is worst. So yeah. However, it is allowed when subgroups play in turn. One subgroup plays and the others observe and evaluate its work, then discuss the performances. During a role playing game, the teacher either does not participate at all in the game or assumes a secondary role. In both cases, she observes the participants, records mistakes, but does not interrupt the game in order to correct them. Oh, dude, this is pretty complex. We are learning about how how to play role games. Oh, after a role playing game, she first analyzes the course of the game, making sure to note the successful moments, and then stops at the most typical mistakes of the participants, working on the mistakes. Discussion, discussion, discussion club, discussion clubs here. This is so stressful, dude. Because I want to finish this book actually, because I have in mind to read a couple of more books. So I want to read this quickly, but at the same time I want to make this productive. So it's contradictory because I'm reading awful and I need to put more effort to make this at this time. So I need to stay focused on this and make it in an appropriate way, but it's difficult because I'm not in my best mood today. What it is, what it is. I cannot put that kind of excuses. It is what it is. I just need to read a couple of more of sentences and I will finish this section. Well, not this section, but this technique. And for sure, in the next video, I will read this topic again because it's pretty interesting and have talk about many stuff. But yeah, maybe lately I have been talking with many people, like native speakers actually, and many people and I improve a lot my speaking skills when I talk with people, but my reading is awful, dude, because I forget many things which are pretty important, like the intonation, like how to speak, because I realized a couple of minutes ago that one problem that I have is that, well, when I was reading, usually I close my mouth after a couple of sentences, or after um, a word which it is important, so then I can be consistent with the rest of the sentence to be more clear, and yeah, that's it basically. To sound more clear and know, how can I say this, to give to the sentence the appropriate intonation and of the meaning of the author, the meaning what the author want to share with all of us. And that's it. So I need to make that, and I need to remember all those stuff again, because I didn't read for a while. Like, of course I read in my daily life, but it is different, because it's different to read aloud and in front of a camera. You can see there all your errors. But yeah, it's a problem. I need to practice more my reading again, because it's easier, but I I lost the meaning. I lose the meaning of the sentence, because I cannot read it properly. And if I cannot get used to this text, even for sure you won't understand anything about what I'm saying. But yeah, it's kind of frustrating this session. Uh, yeah. Well, let's go ahead with this, with the last part of the role playing games. For sure, in the next video, I will read again this section to be more clear in this aspect. Discussion Clubser, one of the cheapest, most discussion Clubser, one of the cheapest, most accessible and fun ways to develop your spoken language. Discussion clubs are one of the cheapest, most accessible, and fun ways to develop your spoken language. Each meeting usually focused on a specific topic which is communicated to participants in advance. In this way, you can systematically add subject words and expressions to your vocabulary. For lack of analogies, For lack of analogies in your city, you can organize such a club yourself. Yeah, that's pretty useful. I prefer to use Discord, to be honest. What more? Well, uh, those techniques that we mentioned today were a couple of new techniques, which are: read more, learn ready, make phrases, learn grammar, but not too much, just the necessary to have a conversation and then apply that knowledge. Talk as much as you can, thinking about the language. Talk talk to talk to your reflection in the mirror. Describe the pictures. Guess the mystery. Find common and different. Kind of like it's like a kind of game. Imitate native speakers. Retell the text with your own words. Role playing games. What more? Well, role playing games was my most awful topic that I read in my whole life. So in the next video, I will reading it again. Actually, I want to finish this section about speaking, but yeah, I'm kind of anxious about this. So maybe that's a problem, and that's one of the reasons about why I'm reading so bad. But yeah, I want to make this in appropriate way, but at the same time, I want to finish it quickly. It is what it is, guys. For sure, you don't enjoy it this awful video, but it is what it is. It's about keep learning and improving. So let's go ahead with the next video. I hope you find it useful at least to release the mistakes that a person who who don't practice for a couple of days can have after a while. And see you later and have a good day.